When we were building SaaS and we wanted a payment gateway which is customized to SMB merchants in India, I think there was nobody else.
Sometimes you build things and you see other people using it. And I think that gives a very different kind of joy, right? Because, I learned this, I think, in my first year of college only, because I built something, I put it out there and nobody wanted to use it.
And you learned the fear of failure very early. And you're talking about being in a campus with high talent density and finding out like-minded individuals. If there are two things that every Polaris kid should actually do in order to make a right circle around them, what are those two things that you would advise them to do?
Find activities that you enjoy, right? Whether it's building a technology or a project, whatever, right? You should think of what you want to enjoy doing, right? Just the level of talent which is focused on that activity and which is getting success on that activity also improved significantly.
Special day, I am actually sitting with a college senior of mine. Shashank sir was a college senior, and yet this is the first time I think we've ever met in life. For him, 14 years after graduating, for me 13 years after graduating. But I have huge respect for Shashank sir and Harshal, who's my batchmate actually. What they've built, and not just as a company, because it has been a very valued company. In the success of Class Plus, I think Razorpay, there's a feature called Razorpay Route. Now, I think for any founder, if what they build, if it can help other founders, it's a double-layered joy.
Absolutely. That's what I tell my team.
Yeah, it's a joy of derivatives. Right?
Yeah, it's a joy of derivatives.
So Shashank sir, while I can go on and on about you and Razorpay, but I would love for you to introduce who are you, what do you do, and tell people.
Hi, I'm Shashank. I'm the founder of Razorpay. I look after product and engineering and bunch of new initiatives at the company. I'm very passionate about technology and its power to really do well for the people of the country, and in new thing that we do, right? Our mission at Razorpay usually is the products that we build should really empower and enable entrepreneurs to do well, so that it has the second order impact in terms of generating new jobs, in enriching people's lives, and so on.
I know this about you. You're not like a lot of other engineers in campus. You are pretty proactive and you are always trying out new things. In Indian colleges, what happens, a lot of times people lose steam once they enter a brand like IIT, because now they think that they've made it and now they've earned their right to success in life, and then they become a little complacent. But here, you were doing a lot of differential stuff in campus. So talk to us about what are some of the choices or what are some of the activities that you did during your entire engineering that increases the odds and that helped you build Razorpay better? What were you doing different than your batchmates during the campus times?
So, I think in campus you have your academics, right? And at least what I figured that time, the academics for me was not as enjoyable. There was a lot of rote learning, and then you sort of give exams, right? So I used to get okayish marks, not great, but I didn't have as much fun. So at least my thing has always been, I want to do things which interest me, which give me joy and also help me improve on some skill set or something else, right? And college is a good time to explore. So I actually explored a bunch of different things, in IIT Roorkee. There used to be various different kind of clubs,
yes,
right? There still are different kind of clubs. Actually, probably, interviewed in 4 or 5 clubs in first year and got rejected by almost all of them. Probably got joined in one of the clubs, right? And it gave a good friend circle and everything, right? But at least what I kept doing, I tried my hands at design. I tried my hands at, doing a regular coding, algorithmic coding.
And this is back in 2010, 11, 12, those years. You were doing all of this 15 years back.
Yeah. At least in my college, I started that trend on campus. So, I think a lot of people followed on the trends that we built. But I really enjoyed algorithmic coding and I had fun doing that, right? So I wanted to learn it and improve. I loved maths, I loved computers, so it was right at the intersection of it. Then I started, went on an internship, after which I started enjoying machine learning. So then I did a bunch of projects on machine learning. Then we had started this club called SDS Labs, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, with one of my college seniors, Shobit, and my co-founder Harshal, right? So all of them had sort of started this because we felt like there needs to be more, more culture in the campus in doing new projects, new technologies. Should be more open to people, right? So people should have more fun around building things, not just studying things, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a technical college like IIT Roorkee, there needs to be more focus on students trying out new technologies. So So as part of that, then I built a lot of technical applications, just web applications that people in the college can try.
No, that's a very strong word that you use. So a lot of parents and students think about culture as कि fest में कौन आ रहा है, या sports में क्या हो रहा है, या फिर arts में क्या है. But what you spoke about is very interesting. It says what you spoke about is culture of building, culture of technology, culture of experimenting. And do you think like people like should students park that for later in their lives, or should they have some affinity and some inclination towards the culture of building while in college itself?
What I've realized over time, and some of this is just looking in hindsight, if you are able to learn to create things, and it's not restricted to college, even before college, right? If you can create, a piece of code, if you can create a piece of music, if you can, create a piece of art, anything that you can create is always better than, consume it, right? So if you can find joy in creating new things rather than just rote learning new things, right? I think that just brings out a very different kind of, a side to your personality that just gives you an insane amount of skills. And when you learn to build things and, then try other people to use that thing, right? Sometimes you build things for ourselves and there's nothing wrong with it, right? But sometimes you build things and you see other people using it. And I think that gives a very different kind of joy, right? Because I learned this, I think in my first year of college only, because I built something, and I put it out there and nobody wanted to use it, right?
Yeah.
So that,
you learned the fear of failure very early.
What is the bar if you want other people to use your product or to appreciate, what you're building, right? And, most of us are not, let's say, like Steve Jobs, right? Like
None of us is.
None of us, right? So, you can go out and like build something and everyone loves it. It doesn't happen that way, right? Neither I think it happened for Steve Jobs that way, right? So you have to learn to build something that, you enjoy building. And you can also, if you develop it as a skill, then, you can convert it into a career, into a, whether it's a company or it's a long-term career choice in terms of whatever corporate or startup that you go to, right? But if you can learn to build something that other people enjoy, then I think you leap far ahead in terms of whatever skill sets that you acquire, right? Because that's one thing to learn about a technology, another thing to learn the application of that technology.
You're saying learn building.
Absolutely.
Whatever you do, but learn building is what.
Learn building and enjoy building. Figure out what you enjoy building.
And I also remember that the club that you started in college, which was SDS Labs, right? I remember there were a lot of people who applied to a lot of juniors who applied to SDS Labs. They formed their chemistry and friendships and network with you. And ultimately, when you ended up starting Razorpay with Harshil, you ended up selecting some of them as your first founding members, right? Which is like a great thing because you got a chance to work with people who you trusted and they got a chance to work with people who they looked up to. And that is where I see that's the beauty of college friendships, that if you befriend the right people with similar insights, similar interests, similar values and principles and similar ambitions, then you can actually go and create a large outcome. And today, like Razorpay is a $7 billion company, but beyond the valuation, it is one of the strongest platforms which power the money movement in India, or let's say it's one of the strongest payment gateways in India, and it supports the digital economy. What do you have to talk about? Was it by chance? Was it by design? Or how did this happen? Like, how did you end up starting a $1 billion company with so many of your college friends?
So, we just talked about like how, me and even Harshil, right? I mean, we wanted to like build new products or try out different technologies, right? I think what happened as a result of that we also attracted a lot of like-minded individuals, right? People who were similarly interested in these kind of activities. See, whatever activity you choose to go after in college, you'll build your social circle around it, right? So if you like gaming and if you want to continue gaming, then you'll make a lot of friends who are interested in gaming, right? If you like sports and you want to play sports, you'll make a lot of friends who are interested in sports, right? So we were interested in like building new products, and as a result of that, we made friends with a lot of people who were interested in technology and building products. And so then when we started Razorpay and we wanted to find people who are interested in technology products, whether it's, building it, marketing it, selling it, we found our core group
Nice.
Easily. It was tough convincing them because,
Yeah.
of course, it was an unproven venture.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, it wasn't as tough as
yeah.
I thought it could have been.
So actually, if you had to just like for all the Polaris students who are sitting there, and you're talking about being in a campus with high talent density and finding out like-minded individuals, if there are two things that every Polaris kid should actually do in order to make a right circle around them, what are those two things that you would advise them to do?
I would say that first, what you talked about, find activities that you enjoy, right? Find whether it's building a technology or a product or a project, whatever, right? You should think of what you want to enjoy doing, right? And then around that, you will ultimately form some kind of community.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll find people who enjoy similar kind of activities, whether it's your seniors whom you can go to for advice, right? Or over time, you'll find juniors who will come to you for advice.
Yeah.
So it's easier to then, form a group of friends or a circle or a community around things that you enjoy, and then of course, if you nobody comes up with what is that, high talent density, for example, right? Of course, there are places like IIT which have very natural high talent density, but here is the thing: as you progress, as you improve your skills on a specific activity, I think the talent density automatically improves around it, right? So what I saw, for example, where we used to do this algorithmic coding, competitive programming, right?
Yeah.
So when I was in first year of college, there was not enough culture around it.
Yeah.
And I started pushing for that since second year. We started hosting competitions, we started participating in competitions and started publicizing it and getting more people into it, right? And I think by fourth year, we were among the top colleges which were sending people to
I remember that. Yeah.
Global what is it called, ICPC.
Yeah, ICPC,
right? So just the level of talent which is focused on that activity and which is getting success on that activity also improved significantly, right? So even if you don't have a great talent density, as long as you are finding people who are focused on the activity, who are interested in learning, interested in improving, I think that aspect will automatically come through.
So you're saying two things. One, somebody should go and build right stuff, and then when you find like-minded people, they should hold on to them.
Yeah.
And if they do both of these things right, they have a good probability of doing something great at life.
I would say you should do it for the joy of it.
Yeah.
So you'll figure out how to convert your passion to ways you can make money as well, right? But don't worry about doing great in life. Worry about building great products and enjoying life as you do it.
What's your next biggest ambition?
With the AI wave that is happening, right? I think that's going to be the most significant technology shift, right? I want to ensure that through Razorpay, we bring that technology wave for all the businesses and entrepreneurs in the country, right? So there'll be a lot of technology companies, especially like yours, right, which will do it naturally because you guys are closer to tech, you guys understand AI a lot more. But for the millions of businesses in the country, we want to play that anchor and catalyst role of ensuring that they come up the curve in terms of AI adoption for their businesses, whether it is on finance side or growth side, and be able to help them adapt and do better on it.
No, I really hope the way you helped us, you help so many more companies, and I really hope some of the talent at Polaris comes and helps you build that better in the long run. That's what the definition of an ecosystem is, and looking forward to taking the tech ecosystem of India higher and higher. Cheers, Shashank sir. Have a nice day.